Number 52, Dominic Chapman, offensive line, defensive line. Number 53, Kingston Crawford, O-line, D-line, junior. Number 55, William D. Sorrell, offensive line, defensive line. Number 71, Nick McGargan, offensive line and D-line. Number 72, Ethan Matlock, O-line and D-line. And number 79, Joshua Adele, O-line and D-line. Your head coach for the Heritage Schools is Kevin Peterson. Assistants, Ashley Clark, Greg McCarthy, Ray Evans, Rob Lutz, Chuck Hawthorne, Blake Oshner, Bobby Garcia, Tyler Rosine, Brandon Henry. Principal Derek Harrison, Athletic Director Megan Thompson. And now, for your Evergreen Lakers!
All right, welcome back to Friday Night Lights here in Clark County. 4:30 game here at McKenzie Stadium. I'm Ryan Vassweiner. I'm here with Kyle Bleake. We've got Heritage and Evergreen to start off the night tonight, Kyle. Both teams sitting second in their respective divisions, or in the same division, really. Both fighting for that second place spot for playoffs. Last week, Evergreen really came off with a win against Prairie by 20. Heritage took a tough loss to Kelso 28-0, and so both teams coming out here trying to get another win under their belt before playoffs start in 2 weeks. What are your thoughts?
It's going to be very fascinating to see how the Heritage Timberwolves respond after getting shut out last week, after giving up their most amount of points during the season, after their W6 came to an end. How they respond is going to be crucial tonight to really for the rest of the season. On the Evergreen side, they've had some close victories. Getting another one here over a stout Heritage defense is going to go a long, long way. So we are in for a doozy on a wet Friday evening.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Heritage certainly has had their most successful season in years. They're 6-1. They won 6 straight before last week. That's the first time they've done that in school history. Something to say, though, you're right. They don't score a lot of points, and at the same time, they don't give up a lot of points. Heritage has not scored more than 21 points in the last 4 or 5 football games, and that's something that they're going to have to overcome with this Evergreen side. On the Evergreen side of the ball, they've got a myriad of receivers that Jaden Baum tends to go to. They've got Terrence Arion, Elijah English, Darren Schmidt, Hudson Nellis. I mean, they've got an entire crew of personnel to spread that love around.
And that's not to just gloss over Jaden Baum either. He is an absolute monster. I know Halloween is next week, but he's dressing up early this week as a monster. He is, as a sophomore, he is so solid back there, just a veteran presence.
He certainly is. Evergreen goes ahead and squibs this one off to start the game. That's going to be received by Heritage number 11, Braden Oster. He brings that out right to the 35-yard line, and Heritage is going to start their campaign tonight.
Something to keep an eye on that we noticed last week was Owen Daly suffered an injury last week that did keep him out for the remainder of the game. We're going to see if Daly's in or Devon Granville keeps running it. Looks like we are going to have Daly back here at quarterback, number 9 for Heritage.
Yeah, last week that was a leg injury, and so good news, he's back. He's starting. So we'll see what he comes out to tonight. His mobility may be just a little limited, though. This one handed off to number 2, KJ Clark, and he's going to go ahead and pick up about 7 yards, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 3.
Something to keep in mind as well. This is, obviously quite a bit of rain tonight. The turf out at Evergreen is not going to be sort of the standard grass-like substance that you may be used to. This is a much, it's not nearly as high as standard grass, so it is going to be a little bit more slippery out there.
Yeah, it certainly will. Here's Clark with his 2nd carry of the night, and he's going to be enough for a first down. Takes that all the way into Evergreen territory to the 48. Yeah, you make a good point. The weather is going to make a big difference tonight. If either one of these teams can really win the turnover game, make sure that they secure the football, limit bad throws, limit interceptions, limit fumbles, they're going to have a huge advantage. Daly's going to hand this one off to KJ Clark for the 3rd straight time. Clark breaking through the middle. He's going to go ahead and get a big gain all the way up to the 31-yard line.
Yeah, why not, too? It worked the first couple of times. 2 rushes, one going for 8, one going for 9 yards. This one's going to go for much, much more. Spotted at the 27 of Evergreen. 3 plays in, Heritage. And KJ Clark just running all over him.
Clark again. This time Evergreen is going to go ahead and make some adjustments. He's going to stop Clark for no gain. That's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Yeah, we see on the replay here. This is on his last big run. Clark just finds his holes through the middle. Great blocking for his offensive lineman.
Yeah, and that's something to keep an eye on, too. We have seen Evergreen's defensive line, along with their offensive line, both trench teams, really sort of get mowed over as the game goes on.
This time Clark finds his way. He tries to bounce his way to the outside. He's going to get a short gain. There is a flag on the play, so we'll see. Looks like it might be a hold, but we'll see for sure here as the officials talk about it. It is a hold, so that's going to go ahead and back Heritage up. We're going to replay second down.
Should put them right about the 30, 36 here. And Evergreen rocking the crisp white and purple uniforms.
They look good tonight.
They do. They do. Those are some good uniforms. Evergreen rocking the classic green and gold. Here's a good replay.
See if we can't find where that he came just off screen there. All right. Owen Daly, second and long, is going to open up the playbook a little bit. They're going to go back to Clark. Clark's going to go ahead and pick up about 6. Looks like they're going to give him about 6. That's going to bring up third down and 14. I said that like a question, but it is indeed 3rd and 14.
Long drive. Do you continue to give Clark the ball? This is a clear passing situation. Let's see what Heritage has lined up here.
Yeah, I think we're in a situation where Heritage is finally forced to really throw the football. I mean, I think the weather certainly has something to do with that.
Sure.
And why we've seen 5 straight rushes from Heritage.
Yeah, and even with KJ Clark averaging, 8 yards a carry right now, it's not going to be enough. They do give him the rock.
He cuts back to the inside, and Evergreen's going to go ahead and get this stop that brings up 4th down. Clark was able to go ahead and get a yard gain on the play. Looks like they're going to give him 2.
And this is a lengthy field goal, so we may be in a situation where Heritage is electing to keep Daly on the field. They're going to go for it on 4th down here. 4th and 12 for the Timberwolves. Good response from the Evergreen defensive unit here.
Daly's got 3 receivers up near the top of your screen. That ball gets skipped off the turf. He does look across the middle. He's going to find his receiver, Dakari Bradford. And Bradford's going to be brought down right at the 2-yard line. Looks like actually the 4-yard line is where they marked him down. You see the replay here. Daly does a great job to pick that ball off the turf and find Bradford cutting across the middle wide open.
Yeah, 25-yard gain there. That's big for Heritage. And this is a clear situation where you give it right back to KJ Clark. Let him run it in here.
Yeah, at this point, absolutely.
There he is lined up next to Daly.
Yep, and Clark does get the ball, and he does find his way into the end zone. That's going to be enough for a touchdown for the Heritage Timberwolves. That puts 6 up on the board to start this game off. 7:41 remaining in the first, and the Timberwolves strike first.
Playbook is pretty clear for Heritage. 8 plays, 7 carries handed off to KJ Clark for a total of 44 yards. Heritage up 6-0 here. Nice thing with that, too, is they churned 4.5 minutes off the clock.
Yeah. That's Omi Ramirez with the extra point attempt, and that is going to be good. Brings the total to 7. Yeah, it's a very different looking team than what we saw Heritage last week. Last week, it was certainly pass heavy. Here we're going to see that big passing play from Daly to Bradford.
We're going to get a good look at the scoring play here as well.
Yeah, KJ Clark just keeps his legs moving, able to find his way into the end zone. So
just powers through Abdullah Barrett there. It's going to be Evergreen's bread and butter is letting Baum cook, right? With it being wet.
With it being wet.
This is going to force Evergreen to sort of change what we've seen
It absolutely will. You know, they're really going to have to rely on Malachi Hodges tonight to really do exactly what Heritage has done, right? Move the chains, continue to get positive yards. Omar Ramirez is going to kick this one deep. It is going to be Malachi Hodges that does receive this ball right on the 3-yard line. Hodges makes his way over to his left-hand side. He breaks a couple tackles, cutting his way back in. He's still fighting. He's going to ultimately get wrapped up right at the 49-yard line. Big return for Malachi Hodges tonight.
Yeah, great return. Some pretty suspect blocking initially by Evergreen. Maybe that was part of the strategy the whole time, though, because made it to about midfield there. About a 40-yard kickoff.
Yeah, we'll see this replay. Hodges, he just keeps his eyes upfield and finds his lanes. Ran into his own defender.
Yeah, the initial blocking was a little questionable, but after that, man, Evergreen really opened up some seams there for him. Here is Baum in at quarterback. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen.
Baum's going to hand that ball off to Hodges. Hodges tries to break around the corner. He's going to get wrapped up after a gain of 4. That brings up 2nd and 6. Baum 4 receivers set. And that snap is going to go over Baum's head. Baum's ultimately just going to go ahead and fall on it. Makes the smart play there. Limit the damage. The ball is ultimately going to be spotted on his own 32-yard line.
And that's something we have seen as well from Evergreen is just some high snaps. And but Baum, like you said, making the smart play there, not risking it any further. Gets on top of it. It is going to be a fairly significant loss of yardage here.
Yeah, that's going to bring up 3rd and 22 for the Plainsmen. Baum takes this one out of shotgun. He is looking for Hudson Nellis. He makes the completion. Nellis finally going to go ahead and step out of bounds at the 40-yard line. While it's a decent reception, it still leaves them with 4th and 19. So the punt team's going to come out for their first appearance tonight. Jose Suarez, the kicker for the Plainsmen. I apologize. It looks like the punter is Darren Schmidt, number 9. I have an equipment issue there, so Evergreen's going to go ahead and substitute a player out. Nicole Howard checks in on the far side. Darren Schmidt gets this one away. That's going to be a good punt. Traylon McGraw is the one who receives it. He makes his way out to the sideline. Good return for McGraw. He ultimately gets it back out to right around the 47-yard line.
Yeah, right around a 25-yard punt return there. Great stuff from McGraw. McGraw's one of those guys, we saw him play a huge factor in the shutout last week offensively, where he's still very influential, huge part of this Heritage offense. A sophomore, but he was really the catalyst back there that was trying to get Heritage fired up, change some stuff, and Heritage needs to get him involved early and often here.
All right, so Owen Daly is going to leave his Timberwolf teams back out on the field for their second offensive possession. Hands this one off to Clark once again. Clark breaks the tackle around the corner. He's going to get shoved out of bounds around the 33-yard line. It's going to be enough for a Heritage first down. Looks like they ultimately did spot it right at the 35.
And that's KJ Clark consistently getting 8 yards every carry. He's ran the ball 8 times, already up to 62 yards. We're halfway through the first quarter here. On pace for nearly 500 rushing yards.
That would be quite impressive. Clark gets the ball again.
Heritage may have lucked out there too. It looked like on the snap, Owen Daly had to go down for it. May have touched his knee, but they're going to give Clark the 4 yards here.
Brings up 2nd and 6. I think if you're Heritage, I mean, you're just waiting for Evergreen to show that you can go ahead and stop the run before you decide to change anything up.
It does look like Clark is going to take a break here on this next play.
Well, I'd say that's well-deserved.
Absolutely, and that's keep an eye on, I would say, Dakari Bradford, receiver, should be on the bottom of your screen this next play. If Heritage does decide to pass it, odds are it's going right to him.
Yeah, Evergreen did jump offside, so that brings up 2nd and 1. This was going to be handed off to Emmanuel Daniel. Daniel seesawing through the Evergreen defense, and he picks up about 6, and it'll be enough for a first down as the ball spotted on the 19-yard line into Evergreen's red zone territory.
And this is something we really haven't seen a ton from Heritage either, just the 2 horses back there for the running game. We really haven't seen KJ Clark and Emmanuel Daniel find the rhythm and consistency that they're able to find tonight. That's going to be huge if they can keep that going in what is sure to be just a wet ground game tonight.
Emmanuel Daniel still in as a running back for the Timberwolves. Daniel tries to make his way around the corner, and he's going to get stopped by the Evergreen defense. He's going to pick up what looks like to be no gain, so it's going to remain 2nd and 10.
Jason Scott right there with the tackle. It was a good replay.
Yeah, Daniel doing his best to try to just get around that corner. So he loses mouth guard there.
Yeah, that was the first time we've really been able to see Evergreen's defensive line break through Heritage's unit out there.
Daly hands this one off. This time to Traylon McGraw.
McGraw with 4 there. And again, we've got less than 4 minutes left in the first quarter. We've seen 1 passing play total completed for 25 yards here.
McGraw takes this one. Looks like he had a little slip. He's going to gain a few, but ultimately that's going to bring up, it looks like 4th and 2. Well, they keep moving it on me. But 4th and 4. So we'll see what Heritage decides to do here. This time we've got
A little confusion
Devon
here.
Granville in at quarterback. He's got a 4 receiver set up near the top of your screen. Granville's going to go ahead and keep this one. He dives to get the first down. It looks like they're going to mark him short, and it's going to be a turnover on downs for the Plainsmen. I think there was a little bit of confusion there for the Timberwolves offense.
Yeah, and Granville comes up just short by a few inches. Evergreen's going to take over at their own 11. That's something to keep an eye out for, too, is Granville really gives Heritage some options back there. If they're going to keep with the running game, he's going to be a slippery individual back there, hard to take down and nearly impossible to catch.
Baum hands this one off to his running back. They're going to go ahead and Malachi Hodges picks up, looks like 3. That brings up 2nd and 7.
Tackled by number 72, Ethan Matlock. 2nd down and 7.
Hodges remains in the backfield. This time Baum drops back. He's looking to air it out. He finds Darren Schmidt right in the flat. Pass is complete. And that moves it from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 2 for a 5-yard gain.
Big play for Evergreen here. Have to think they're going to hand it off here.
Pitches out to Hodges. Hodges finds his lane, trying to make it out to the outside. He finds the corner. Great run by Malachi Hodges. He's ultimately going to get pushed out of bounds. Steps out of bounds right at the 40-yard line. That's going to be enough for a first down.
Yeah, give head coach Christian Swain some credit there, too. That is the perfect play call in that situation. Here's a good replay.
Yeah, you see Hodges here. I mean, he's got empty space around him, and he takes all of it. He's one broken tackle away from really finding the end zone. Baum drops back. He scrambles outside of the pocket. He turns upfield. He runs into some traffic. He's going to go ahead and pick up 2 on that play.
Yeah, you have to avoid those, too, if you're Baum. And if you are going to run, you got to go down, man. You can't put yourself in a situation where you're taking hits like that. Good look at the Heritage defensive unit there. There's Baum in at quarterback. Again, we touched on it earlier. He is a sophomore that started all of last year as a true freshman for Evergreen.
Yeah, Baum is certainly promising. He fires this one over the middle into traffic. That's going to be dropped and falling complete. Doing his best to find Darren Schmidt there. Schmidt sitting in double coverage. Had a hard time bringing that one in.
Baum has proven to be very adept at finding and taking advantage of the tiny holes out there, but not able to get that one in there.
Baum dropping back to pass. This time he finds his receiver, Hudson Nellis. Nellis doing a good job to make sure that he gets beyond the line to gain.
Yeah, Nellis almost with a huge mistake there. Catches it on the correct side of the first down marker, but runs backwards a couple of yards. Fortunate he didn't get taken down. That is going to be a first down for Evergreen.
Yeah, and it does move them into Heritage territory. First time they've been in Heritage territory tonight. Baum dropping back to pass. He finds Nellis again. Nellis along the sideline. He's going to get pushed out of bounds right around the 20. They're going to call it the 25. So 2 big plays in a row from Hudson Nellis.
22-yard completion there to number 22, Nellis.
Yeah, Nellis does a great job with his catch. Just turns upfield. All right, this time it's handed off to Malachi Hodges. Hodges breaks a couple tackles, takes a pretty good hit, moves inside the 20-yard line.
That was McGraw on the initial tackle there.
Gain of 7. That brings up 2nd and 3.
Got 10 seconds left here in the first quarter. Let's see if Evergreen tries to get a quick play off here.
Baum hands this one off to Hodges once again. Hodges finds some traffic in the middle, bumps out to the outside. He makes his way through the defensive secondary into the end zone for a touchdown. That puts 6 points up on the board with an opportunity to tie this ball game up as we end the first quarter.
Yeah, big run there from Malachi Hodges. Looks like he broke a couple tackles there. Ultimately goes 17 yards for the score.
Great shot of the Evergreen cheerleaders. It is senior night tonight for Evergreen. Pre-game, they did go ahead and celebrate their seniors on the football team and the cheerleading squad. And the kick by Jose Suarez is going to be good for the extra point. That does tie this football game up 7-7 as we move into the second quarter.
Good game so far. This is what we expected here. Here's a replay.
Yeah, Hodges just runs into traffic, does a great job. Darren Schmidt puts out a good block that allows Hodges to make his way outside and ultimately turns upfield into the end zone.
Yeah, and definitely less missed tackles than I expected. Just superb job from Evergreen there with the blocking, and Hodges too, finding and taking advantage of those seams.
Yeah.
Evergreen staying hyped here. A wet and dreary Friday evening.
At least it's not cold. It's not cold.
It is freezing.
It is not cold. It's still like 55. We have had a lot worse this third week of October, fourth week of October in the past. And I'll take this temperature any day of the week in a year.
We have been fortunate last couple of weeks to avoid the wet, and even seeing the sun poke through once or twice.
Once or twice. Enough to get my grass cut. Was able to do that last week.
That's nice. That's great. I mean, it's probably the last time you'll be able to do that before until maybe April.
Probably. All right, we have swap sides. Jose Suarez getting ready to go ahead and kick this away for the Plainsmen. Back to receive for the Timberwolves. That looks to be
Oster again?
That is Oster. Oster makes his way up to the 20-yard line. They're going to give him to the 22.
Great hustle there from the Evergreen special teams unit. Pretty good kickoff, too. That's what we can expect from Suarez. We have seen him good for some lengthy field goals, too. Something to keep an eye on if this game remains tight going into the fourth quarter and late.
Yeah, I was watching him warm up pregame. I mean, he was putting them through from 35 with ease. So certainly a weapon that Evergreen has in their back pocket if they need it come late in this game.
Daly back in at quarterback. KJ Clark right next to him.
This one's handed off to Clark. Clark fumbles that football. We'll see who's able to recover that. They haven't made a determination yet. Evergreen's saying they got the ball. It is Evergreen football. What would have been a huge run from KJ Clark turns into disaster as he fumbles that football and Evergreen recovers.
And my, how the turntables. This with with Heritage starting off hot. Heritage really kind of dropping the ball figuratively and literally here.
Yeah, it looks like that was ultimately stripped out by Rayshawn Chambers.
Evergreen's going to take over at the Heritage 38-yard line, looking to take a lead here.
All right, Jaden Baum's got three receivers at the top of your screen. He hands it off to Malachi Hodges. Hodges finds a hole through the middle. He breaks two tackles. It's a big gain all the way up to the 20-yard line. We see a replay here. Hodges does a great, you know what? Hodges does a great job with this run, but you really have to give credit to the Evergreen offensive line. They put a hole. I mean, big enough a Mack truck could fit through it. That last play there was handed off to Hodges once more. He got a gain of 3. Hodges checks out to catch his breath.
Checking in at fullback for Evergreen is going to be number 20, Cyrus Fawcett-Sadri.
This time, Baum finds Adrian Volkov into the end zone for a touchdown. And if you're the Plainsmen 30 seconds ago, you were down 7, now you're up 6, kicking an extra point.
Yeah, again, if you're Heritage, you have to be thinking, what just happened? Our offense was humming on our first couple drives. Even that last run was very solid, just ball slips away, but all of a sudden they're down by a score.
Yeah, I think if you're Heritage, you got to continue to stick with your game plan. It was working. It wasn't an unfortunate event that you fumbled the football and lost it in your own territory. The extra point from Jose Suarez is going to be good, and that puts the Plainsmen up 7 over the Timberwolves. But if you're Heritage, you got to continue what you're doing. You were seeing success, and like I said, it was an unfortunate event. We're going to see another replay here of Baum finding Adrian Volkov. Volkov doing a great job making his way to the sideline and into the end zone.
The other thing, too, if you're Heritage, this season, you're really known for your defense. And we have not seen that yet. The first drive for Evergreen, they got stopped, snap over the quarterback's head, which really, defined that drive. But if you're Heritage, you really hadn't given up more than 14 points throughout the year up until last week when you gave up 28. Now all of a sudden giving up 14 in the first half, it's a tough look for the Timberwolves.
It certainly is, and they're going to have to find an answer on offense like we talked about at the beginning of the game. Heritage hasn't scored more than 21 points in their last 4 or 5, so they got to find some sort of offensive firepower. And I think they found it with KJ Clark and him able to run the ball. I mean, I think, I don't know how many, he probably had close to 80, 90 yards after the first 2 possessions. And they were successful. So,
yeah, Clark up to 75 here in the early going.
The kickoff is going to be through the end zone, so Heritage is going to start this drive on their own 20. Now, something to say, too, the first 2 possessions that Heritage had, they essentially started with really good field position. The last one, they started a little bit deeper. This time they're starting on their own 20, so they've got 80 yards to go.
They could. We've seen him do it before, especially with KJ Clark just churning out, 5 to 8 yard possessions every time he touches the rock. Won't take him too long to do that. If they do give him the ball 10 straight times here, that's going to chew a chunk of time off the clock too.
And they do go to Clark, and he's going to go ahead and pick up 6.
Andrew Wadby for Evergreen looked to be the first one, along with Daniel Castro, taking him down.
Daly's going to hand this one off to Clark once again. Clark breaks his way through the middle. It's going to be another big gain for first down for KJ Clark.
Up to the 36, another 11-yard gain there. KJ Clark quickly approaching the century mark here. 10 minutes to go in the first half. And again, Heritage just with 1 passing attempt so far completed, but really, really going with the ground and pound strategy here.
They go to Clark once again. This time Clark tries to make his way out the outside, bounces off the defender. He's going to get a gain of 3. I know you were joking late in that first quarter, Kyle, that KJ Clark was on pace to get 500 yards, but the way things are going, he could certainly hit 200 yards tonight.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Absolutely. He's on pace for it right now. He's still on pace for nearly 300. It's just a matter of if Heritage can get the lead and hold the lead if they're in a situation where they need to pass to take the lead once again. That's going to limit his opportunities. KJ Clark still on the field here.
Owen Daly picks that one up off the turf, finds his receiver. That's Traylon McGraw. McGraw continues to fight, and they're going to give him forward momentum and give him the first down.
Here's a replay.
Yeah, he finds Traylon McGraw. McGraw, I mean, he's a sophomore, but he certainly has some of the most fight that I've seen on this Timberwolf football team. Daly with Clark in the backfield once again. It is handed off to Clark. Clark finds his way through the middle once again, and he's going to pick up another 4.
Yeah, that's something to keep an eye on as well. 14 carries within, 20 minutes of game time here. It's going to be really, really hard for Clark to sustain that pace as well. If he can, though, Evergreen's in for a world of hurt here.
Yeah, they've got to figure out some way to stop Clark just continuing to run up the middle. And if it ain't broke, why fix it? You go to Clark once again. Clark finds his way through the middle, and he's going to pick up enough to bring up 3rd and 1. So it's a gain of 6.
What this is ultimately going to do, too, is set up Heritage for some play action possibilities where you fake it to
sure.
Clark, and
Clark
Evergreen
did check out. He is getting a little breather, so in checks Isaiah James in the backfield. And Heritage able to go ahead and get Evergreen to jump offside. And that's going to be enough to go ahead and get Heritage a new set of downs.
Going to bring him out to the 39-yard line here. Let's see what Heritage decides to do. Isaiah James staying on the field. They're going to continue to give KJ Clark some time. One thing we touched on too, I mean, if they continue with the rushing attack, they're going to burn some clock here. Already burned 3 minutes.
Clark again. He's able to fight off 3 different tackles, and he does drop that football, but they're going to go ahead and they're going to call him down on contact. He's still going to go ahead and get a gain of 6 out of that.
I thought he was tackled way behind the line of scrimmage too. He just kept fighting and just taking on an onslaught of Plainsmen. Here's a good replay.
Yeah, you see here, Jason Scott was able to fight his way through that defensive line. And Clark was just able to go ahead and...
That was legitimately 7 different Evergreen players that just could not bring him down.
So that brings up 2nd and 5. Man in motion for the Timberwolves. Hands it off to Clark once again. And Clark is finally... technically it is, he does get stopped in the backfield. Looks like it's going to be a loss of about a yard.
Great work there from Jason Scott, and that's exactly what Evergreen needed too. Clark did eclipse 100 yards on his last carry. He's up to 102 on 16 attempts.
This time empty backfield for Owen Daly. Owen Daly finds Jacob Karpiuk as his receiver. It's going to be about a gain of 7, and it brings up another first down.
We have an injured Plainsman here.
Karpiuk with that completion. That's only the 2nd passing attempt for the Timberwolves, or 3rd passing attempt for the Timberwolves tonight.
All of which have been completed.
Yeah.
Yeah, lefty back there is 3 for 3 He's gotten up to 39 yards here.
Good to see the young man for Evergreen able to go ahead and get up and walk off on his own power. Hopefully he's all right and able to return. We're going to have both teams come back out on the field here. 5:29 remaining in this first half. Officials are going to go ahead and wind the clock. Daly and Clark in the backfield. Daly's got 3 options to his left. And he does look for Traylon McGraw. He completes that pass for a short gain. It looks like it's going to be about a gain of 3. And that brings up 2nd and 7. Looks like gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
Sort of sidearm slings it out to McGraw out there. Evergreen's Darren Schmidt first to the tackle. Daly up to 4 for 4 now. 4.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Hands it off to Clark.
Clark finds a hole. Unable to break through, though, and that's going to be a whole lot of horizontal movement for no gain. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
Tough to tell. Almost looked like Clark could have gotten a few more there, but ran into one of his own blockers. Long 3rd down for Heritage here, and Clark comes off the field.
Yeah, Emmanuel Daniel checks in. Owen Daly still the quarterback for the Timberwolves here on 3rd and 8, excuse me.
Biggest play of the game for both teams here. Heritage needs
Hands
a
the ball
conversion.
off to Daniel. Daniel finds his way through his offensive line. It's going to be a big gain, and it's going to be enough to go ahead and get the Timberwolves a new set of downs and into the red zone. See Emmanuel Daniel just finding his hole. No one around to touch him.
Daniel Castro able to bring him down eventually, but too little too late. Heritage now on the 12-yard line. 13-yard run there for number 3, Emmanuel Daniel.
Daniel gets the handoff again. He fights his way through the middle. It's going to be enough to pick up, looks to be 4, maybe 5. Was it pick up 4? That brings up 2nd and 6. Timberwolves can still get a first down without finding the end zone. They got to get to the 2-yard line.
7 minutes burned off the clock here. Heritage doing a superb job on this drive. Evergreen's defense has got to be getting tired out there. Clark still on the sideline.
Hands this one off to Daniel. Daniel gets tripped up behind the line of scrimmage. Looks to be no gain. That's going to bring up 3rd and 6.
.140 yards rushing as a team for Heritage so far in the first half. Just 1 touchdown to show for it, though. But time of possession certainly in their favor here.
Yeah. Well, and if you're Evergreen, it's tough because you can't just throw a bunch of guys in the box because you've also been hurt by the passing game from Heritage too. Not as often, but those plays have been big, and so you can't just throw everybody inside the box. This one handed off to Daniel. Daniel being patient, trying to find and stay behind his blockers. He is going to get a gain of about 4. And that brings up 4th and 2, and we'll see what Heritage decides to do here. Last time they were in a 4th and short situation, They brought in Devon Granville.
Big play here. Heritage is going to. This is going to be an Evergreen timeout. Both teams going to go back here and talk about it.
Looks like Granville did come out on the field for Heritage, so we'll see if that strategy continues as we come out of the timeout.
And Heritage took over with 10 minutes on the clock at the beginning of this drive. We're down to 120 here.
Yeah, I mean, running the football will do that. I mean, they've been able to do it successfully and continue to just move the chains. And sure, they've certainly had some big plays, but for the most part, it's been 4, 5, 6 yards at a time.
Sure. And you mentioned too, if it's working, that's going to force Evergreen to respond. It's sort of an awkward situation where, sure, that's going to force Evergreen to respond and make a change, but Evergreen's the one with the lead right now.
Yeah.
This play right here is going to tell us, well, everything we need to know about the first half, but it is going to dictate several things to come in the second as well. It does look like.
So it's going to be Owen Daly in for quarterback for the Timberwolves on this looks like it's 4th and 3, actually. They do have Emmanuel Daniel in the backfield.
Looks like we were going to get a Heritage timeout now. Just wanted to see what Evergreen had up their sleeve. Some
a little bit of gamesmanship.
I like it.
Feeling each other out. If you're Evergreen, one thing you've got to be really careful about is make sure you stay on sides. The last thing that you want to do is to jump on a hard count and give Heritage a fresh set of downs.
Yeah, and that's probably exactly what head coach Christian Swain is talking about right now. You just cannot do that to yourself. We have seen Evergreen jump a couple times on late down situations that have extended the Heritage drive, but this is one time you just cannot do that to yourself.
Yeah. You can see the rain coming down. It is a wet one here tonight at McKenzie Stadium. To those of you watching us on Comcast Channel 328, we thank you. For those of you watching us online on YouTube, on the Evergreen Public Schools YouTube channel, we thank you as well. Stick around. It's been a great game tonight. We've got Union and Camas for the 7 o'clock game tonight.
Big
it's a great rivalry. Here we go, Owen Daly. And that was a bad snap, straight to Emmanuel Daniel. Daniel was able to go ahead and pick it up. We'll see where they spot this ball. Evergreen celebrating like they've stopped him short.
Referees are getting together.
Heritage wants a measurement. They still haven't spotted the football.
Looks like the referees are getting together to discuss what's happening. This is an official timeout now.
So at this point, they've spotted it. We'll see if they feel the need to go ahead and bring the chains out. They don't. It is going to be a turnover on downs. Evergreen's Heritage not able to convert the 4th and short. Evergreen takes this football over deep into their own territory.
Yeah, and this is the Heritage coach coming out way onto the field here. Does not agree with the call. Can't imagine he's saying, "Good job, ref." Evergreen's going to take over on their 3-yard line. Timeout Heritage. And Heritage did need to get to the 3-yard line, which means they another missed opportunity on 4th down by just a few inches.
Yeah, I think this is one of those timeouts coaches take. They really don't need to talk to their team, but they want a moment with the officials. Head coach Kevin Peterson disagreeing with the spot of the ball.
Good look at the Evergreen cheerleaders there, still trying to keep the crowd in it.
Did mention it was senior night here for Evergreen. October is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, hence the pink pom-poms. See a couple players out there for Evergreen with the pink tape on their shoes. Here we go, 1st and 10. Baum going to go ahead and start in his own end zone. And this ball is handed off to Malachi Hodges. Hodges breaks the corner, gets a good gain out of it. They're going to spot this ball right at the 10-yard line, gives Evergreen a little bit of breathing room.
Under a minute now, Malachi Hodges, that puts him 85 yards for the game so far. This is going to be injury timeout. That is number 22 for Heritage. Isaiah James limping off the field. Hope he gets tended to and we are able to see him later in the game. All right, Evergreen hands it off yet again. There's Hodges. It's taken down at the line of scrimmage. That is Traylon McGraw. Little firecracker back there for Heritage. Takes him down. You can hear the rain now really, really starting to hit. Gain of 1 for Hodges. Difference of 1 second on the play clock. Good fake there. Baum elects to hold it. And there's McGraw again with the tackle. You can see just how much he energizes Heritage here. Looks like we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds left. Timeout Heritage. Wants one more opportunity. Evergreen facing 4th down here. And Evergreen with the 14-7 lead here just before halftime. If you're just now joining us, Evergreen with nearly a goal line stand, negating the Heritage tying score. This is Baum and Hodges back there. And it is just absolutely pouring here. Going to be a fun second half along with an entertaining second game. Camas Union. A little bit of confusion all around here. Maybe a timeout Evergreen. Wanting to play in the rain a little bit longer before they head to the locker room. Yeah, if you can see it, the track out here at McKenzie Stadium is just starting to get quite a bit of standing rain here. Field, they have to imagine, is in a similar situation. And there's head coach Christian Swain, the Plainsman. Gentleman with the bucket hat there, keeping the ball protected under his jacket, trying to keep it dry as long as possible for what's sure to be just a ball thrown into the stands here by Baum before heading to the halftime break. And we are back to action here. 4 seconds left. And there it is. Baum just elects to toss it way downfield. It's going to fall incomplete. Referees say there is a flag on the play. We are not done here. Both teams just saying, please, just let's go get dry. Personal foul against Heritage. Penalty is declined. We are going to go to the halftime break. Evergreen sprinting to the locker room. Evergreen holding a 14-7 lead over Heritage. We're going to toss it to the halftime booth for some stats and football talk.
Hello, everybody. Matt Griffin here alongside Ryan Bassbinder for our UPS Sports halftime show. Ryan, still anybody's game. Heritage came out quick.
Yeah, they did. They started this game out real quick. Evergreen has had a great answer to it. I mean, we've obviously seen the ball stay on the ground. I think there's been a total of 5 passes total tonight, which is understandable with this weather.
Yeah, I mean, you can maybe even hear a little bit, if I'm quiet, the rain on the roof of McKenzie Stadium, the metal roof. They just going to have to keep it on the ground all night. It's just kind of risky getting it up there in the air, being how wet the ball is.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we came here to watch Evergreen and Heritage tonight. We could also call it Malachi Hodges versus KJ Clark tonight, both of the running backs for both teams. I mean, KJ Clark has had a very impressive first half, over 100 yards rushing so far. Malachi Hodges is pretty close to that century mark as well. But yeah, I mean, it's anybody's game still. Heritage has certainly proven that they can move the ball. They found themselves unable to convert 2 4th and short situations, which has hurt them. They've also fumbled the football, right? And so they've definitely had their opportunities. Evergreen's done a great job to take care of their opportunities offensively as well.
Well, and I think that last, stand from Heritage, is that right? Heritage, turnover on downs when you're on the goal line is going to hurt the momentum. We talked about the combination of Baum and Hodges. As soon as Heritage came out really strong, that seemed to be the connection there that kind of broke up that momentum.
Yeah, it really was. I think if Evergreen can come into the second half and continue to run the football and control the clock. You take a look at what Heritage did in that second quarter. They held the ball for 8 minutes, 8 minutes straight, and they weren't able to get a score out of it. So if Evergreen can come out and do the same, continue to get first downs, run the ball 5, 6, 7 yards at a time, that puts them at a huge advantage.
Well, especially since the rest of the game has got to be a running back
for sure.
type of situation. What does Heritage talk about at halftime?
Heritage is capitalizing on their opportunities, right? Like I said, they've turned the ball on downs in 2 4th and short situations. If they don't do that, it's a completely different ball game. They could be up 7 or it could be a tie game. Right. And so instead they're sitting down 7 going into half.
Well, I think we're going to be in for some good football as we head into the second half. And be sure to stay for our second game. That will be after a mandatory 20-minute warm-up period between the first and the second game. That game will feature the Camas Papermakers and the Union Titans. So while Ryan steps aside and gets ready for the second half, I want to tell you about our award-winning music programs, and in particular, the jazz band at Mountain View High School, which, to use a football analogy, has been invited to play the Super Bowl of jazz band performances.
After recording 3 performances in February as part of their audition, it was during a rehearsal in April when band director Sam Ormson received the news that Mountain View High School's Jazz Band 1 had been invited to perform at the Midwest Clinic.
And I had my phone out because it was playing music, and I opened up the email, and then I saw like the subject line, and it said Midwest Clinic, and I was like, and I had this little moment of don't click on it, because what if it's a no? And so but I did, and I read it to them, and they were all, I don't know if they believed me, but I was like, oh, what? We made it? And so everybody was super excited because they had done all this work to prepare, and they had worked so hard to create the audition recording, and they're a hard-working group of kids.
And he was just kind of checking his phone. And then he like stopped talking and just checked his phone, and he read out loud the email, and like everyone was like, oh my goodness, it was so exciting.
Exciting doesn't begin to describe it. The Midwest Clinic is the country's premier music educators conference, and Mountain View's top jazz band is just one of 5 invited to perform at the conference out of hundreds of audition submissions.
Well, so this trip really like symbolizes to the jazz program like how important it is to have jazz programs in school, because like look where it can take you, right? We can go and teach other people how to use their jazz programs in their school. I wouldn't be who I am today without this jazz program, you know.
And the Mountain View Jazz program is a team effort, with director Mark Clausen leading Jazz Band 2 and preparing students for Jazz Band 1.
Personally, I'm really happy just to know that I want to put more into this program, because I know that when they leave me, that they're going to another really great place that they can grow even more from.
And it makes me very, very grateful for my students and for Mountain View and Evergreen that the infrastructure and that what we do is possible. You know, I know it's not just me doing this, it's the students and the families and, you know, the other teachers in the district who started these students on their instruments. So it's a very holistic. There are many, many pieces, and we might be the leaves of the tree, but I totally understand the roots and all of those other pieces that went into it. So there's a lot of gratitude for everything we get to do.
Evergreen Public Schools activities levies help fund music programs in our schools, but this trip is beyond what levy funds can pay for. The total cost of the trip to get 20 students, 3 staff members, and 2 parent chaperones to Chicago is about $37,000 for airfare, ground transportation, hotels, and food. The band does have local and national business sponsors, but is looking for more donations to blunt the impact on families.
So it is still a financial burden on those individual students. And you know, they're fundraising as well at the individual level, and they're working hard to do all of that. But it is such an honor that I want it to be possible for all these students.
Trumpet player Claire Hagley says this isn't your run-of-the-mill field trip. They're going to showcase Evergreen Public Schools' outstanding music programs to the world.
It's a lot of things. First of all, Midwest is like one of the biggest band clinics in the nation, and there's every state represented. Not only that, but there's international representation. So I think us being like one of 4 or 5 jazz bands to be able to perform and showcase music for educators just shows how much our program contributes, and not only in the state but the nation.
If you'd like to help make this once-in-a-lifetime performance possible, you can make a tax-deductible donation at mvim.org/Midwest Clinic and click on the Donate Today button. You can also reach the website with the QR code on your screen.
Mountain View High School Jazz Band 1 will be performing on December 18th. As soon as we get some video or photos back from their performance, we'll bring them to you. right now, we're just waiting for more of our first football game of the night. The Evergreen Plainsmen up 14-7 over the Heritage Timberwolves. We'll have more second half action in just a couple of minutes.
Calling all student athletes in Evergreen and Battleground Public Schools. The Mark Rigo Athletic Scholarship Fund is accepting applications. Mark Rigo was a beloved football and track coach who passed away in 2018, but left behind a legacy. The thousands of student athletes he pushed to become the best versions of themselves and pursue their dreams.
His whole thing was the power of one. If he could just do one thing each day for one person, he's made an impact.
If you are heading to college or a post-secondary trade school and have taken part in sports in Evergreen or Battleground Public Schools, Rigo's legacy can also help offset some of your college costs. To fill out an application and learn more, head over to rigoscholarship.com. Let's keep Coach Rigo's legacy going by helping new generations of students pursue their dreams.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our every day.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
All right, welcome back to McKenzie Stadium for the second half of this matchup between the Evergreen Plainsmen and the Heritage Timberwolves. Evergreen leading this contest at the break 14-7. Kyle, it's been a strictly running game. If you take a look at the monitor right now, this is not the weather that we had just 5 minutes ago. It was a torrential downpour. We had limbs breaking off of trees. Now the sun shines out and there's a rainbow in the sky. So who knows what that means for the second half.
This is classic Vancouver, Washington.
It is classic. Kyle, let's go. I talked a little bit about it with Matt during the little halftime show we had, but let's talk through some numbers on both sides of the ball. I know KJ Clark for Heritage has over 100 yards rushing. I know Malachi Hodges for Evergreen is probably fairly close to that as well.
Yeah, so Malachi Hodges is up to 86 yards on 9 carries. So he's averaging about 9 yards per carry. We've got KJ Clark here, 17 attempts for 102 yards. His last two have gone for a combined -1. So really, he eclipsed 100 yards on 15 carries.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a battle between both sides running the football. Heritage has really fallen short in 3 different possessions. You see a great shot of that rainbow that we're seeing here up in the booth. We're going to start this half off with Heritage kicking off to Evergreen to start this half. But Heritage having 2 possessions that were turned over on downs that were really a 4th and short situation. And they also have one turnover due to a lost fumble that really hurt them.
Sure. Yeah, and Heritage, too, just to put those KJ Clark numbers in a little perspective. KJ Clark, again, 17 attempts of Heritage. They ran a total of 32 plays, so handing KJ Clark over to 50% of their opportunities here. And really, they've only passed the ball 4 times.
Yeah.
All completions, but still, they are just run and gun here.
Yeah, with the way that the rain was coming down in that first half, and it's still coming down a little bit, but we may see a little bit different play call if they can keep this football dry from both sides.
Yeah, it looks like the rain is completely stopped, which 10 minutes ago, if you told me that would happen, not a chance.
All right, this kickoff is going to be kicked into the end zone, so everyone's going to go ahead and start their drive on their own 20 to start this second half.
Yeah, we saw, again, we're talking about it a lot here, but we did see a wet and wild first half here. But really, it hasn't affected the passing game aside from just limited it. So, Heritage, Owen Daly, 4 for 4 on the Evergreen side. Jaden Baum is 5 for 6 with just a single incompletion and a score. So, really, both teams 9 of 10, completing 90% of their passes here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are great stats and great stats to know as we come into the second half, this opening drive of the second half. Baum's going to go ahead and drop back and look to pass. He scrambles out to his right. He makes his way around the corner, and he's going to get a big gain here. It's going to be enough for a first down as he runs out of bounds right at the 35-yard line. There is I did see a flag on the play. It's being placed right at the 25, so this one may be coming back.
You have to think that's going to be a holding against Darren Schmidt here. Looked pretty evident during the play.
Wait, we've got an open mic with one of the camera operators. I'm getting feedback from...
All right, Evergreen. Looks like a 5-yard gain, but it is going to be a loss of 10. Evergreen being pushed back 5 yards here.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and replay first down, and it's going to be 1st and 15. Baum sends his tight end in motion. That's Darren Schmidt over to the other side. Baum drops back, looks for a short pass, does find Hudson Nellis. Nellis doing his best to gain 6. And that's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
And Nellis has definitely been Baum's go-to here. 4 receptions for the wideout.
Which is a different distribution than we saw last week. Last week we really saw him looking to Terrence Sarion first. And Sarion is currently without a reception, and he goes to Nellis again. Nellis seems to be injured on the play. The ball was fumbled. There's a lot going on. So the Timberwolves did recover this. They did take it back for a touchdown. There's a flag on the play. So we'll see how everything kind of shapes out here. Hopefully Hudson Nellis is okay. He is sitting up.
Yeah, Nellis got rocked there. The ball did come loose. Depending on what happens here, it's either going to be an Evergreen first down.
And we'll see a replay here. Baum finds Nellis on the cross route. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be helmet to helmet.
Looks like that was Traylon McGraw leading with the crown.
Yeah, dangerous play there from the Heritage sophomore. That is going to result in an Evergreen first down. Nellis is staying off the field here.
Yeah, I think he's going to need to be looked at just for a bit. Hopefully he's all right. It will be a penalty of the 15-yard variety from the spot. So this ball is going to be spotted on the on Evergreen's 47-yard line. It's going to result in a first down, like Kyle said previously. So it results in a big offensive play for the Plainsmen.
That did get Nellis to 52 yards on 5 catches here. 5 of the 7 passes completed going to Nellis.
This time Baum does connect with Sarion, but it's going to be for a loss of 1.
Sarion's first catch of the evening here, and Ryan, like you mentioned too, he has been a go-to target along with EJ English for Baum, but so far Heritage holding them to just 1 catch combined.
It looks like we've got a false start on the Plainsmen, so that's going to go ahead and back them up another 5. And they're sitting at 2nd and 16.
Yeah, Nellis continues to get looked at here on the sideline.
Baum dropping back to pass. Looking for his target deep into the middle of the field. Looking to find Jason Scott. Ball's overthrown just a tad. Scott not able to get there. It's going to be incomplete. Brings up 3rd and long.
Baum does throw one of the prettiest deep balls you'll find in high school football here in Vancouver. Doesn't do a ton of damage with his legs, but man, he has a cannon for an arm.
So it does look like there was a flag on that play, holding on the defense. So it looks like that they're going to replay 2nd down as Evergreen picks up 10 off the penalty. So that's going to make it 2nd and 6. Baum looking for another passing opportunity, looking for Terrence Sarion here down on the left sideline. Sarion goes up, unable to bring that down. Great defensive play there by number 11, Braden Oster.
Again, though, another great attempt from Baum. Sarion able to get up for it, but just unable to haul it in.
Yeah, Baum's looking Sarion all the way here. Sarion done a great job to create some separation. Just unable to bring it in.
And that's, like Ryan mentioned too, good coverage there from Oster. 3rd down still.
Baum looking to pass once more. Scrambles out, and he's going to get wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 4th down. And Evergreen's going to be sitting 4th and 8. Baum losing his hat on the play. He's going to have to come out for one. So we'll see what Evergreen decides to do here on 4th and long.
Evergreen up a score with your quarterback forced to sit a play. That is going to bring in number 9, Darren Schmidt, for the punt.
Baum should tighten up that helmet a little bit. There was a couple instances last week where he lost his hat too.
Yeah, that's something you really don't see too often, especially 3 times in 2 weeks with the same player. Something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, the punt by Darren Schmidt is fielded by Traylon McGraw. McGraw has a decent return, brings it out to their own 44-yard line. There is a flag here sitting right about midfield.
And that's something to keep an eye on too. McGraw, man, he, like we talked about, he is just dynamite back there, but he is so full of energy, and sometimes he does get a little greedy. You see kind of scooping that ball up and really trying to make something of it, but he does not know the word patient.
I think you're spot on there, Kyle. So this is going to be a hold against Heritage. So we'll be first down and we'll be Heritage's ball.
All right, we've seen Heritage chew 9 minutes of clock before. Let's see if they decide to do that again. Trailing just by 7. They can make that up in a hurry. KJ Clark on the field. Keep an eye on what he does. 34-yard line for Heritage.
Yeah, the rain has decided to stop temporarily, so we'll see if Daly and the Timberwolves decide to air this out a little bit, or do you stick with the ground game and stick with KJ Clark? He does hand it off to Clark. Clark fights his way through the middle, and he's going to get stopped after a gain of 2.
Yeah, and Evergreen's defense has really got to start getting tired here. I know it's early. This is their first play in the second half, but, man, they spent a lot of time on the field in the first half.
No, they certainly did, and, you know, it's certainly tiring for defense. They did a great job of bending and not breaking and forcing 2 turnovers on downs. KJ Clark with another carry. He's going to pick up about 5. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3. Daly reading the offense. He drops back. He is going to go ahead and air this one out. The attempt to oust Oster is going to fall incomplete, but there are flags on the play. This could be defensive pass interference.
Tough break there from Evergreen if that is the case. Pretty good attempt there from both quarterback and receiver. Heritage is nearly able to haul that one in.
We'll see what our white hat calls out here. So it is going to be 15-yard penalty for the defensive pass interference. We'll see the replay here as Daly tries to find Oster. You see that was Malachi Hodges just...
Yeah, didn't turn around, didn't check where the ball was.
Yeah.
May have gotten a little too physical for the referee's liking, but that is going to be 15 yards going the way of Heritage. Now on the 44. Let's see if Heritage decides to pass it again.
Daly rolling out. There is a flag in the backfield. This one to Damian Perez. I'm sorry, not Damian Perez. It is to Dakari Bradford. But it looks like this one may be coming back. Looks like it was a legal procedure on the Timberwolves. So that's going to back the Timberwolves up. It's going to remain first down. So now the Timberwolves are looking at 1st and 15. You know, something that the Timberwolves did very well in that second quarter, I mean, you mentioned it, they chewed off a lot of clock. The unfortunate thing is they didn't get any reward from it. And so if that's going to be your game plan, you continue to chew clock, you have to make sure you find the end zone. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a sticky situation come late into that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's a great point. And KJ Clark is going to get it here again.
Clark bouncing off the defenders. Big gain of about 9. That brings up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and Heritage coming within inches multiple times. Here's a good replay of this 9-yard gain.
Yeah, Clark just bouncing off. Looks like that was Jason Scott. Daly with Clark in the backfield. Clark unable to bring that one in. They're going to call it incomplete. Dangerous drop ball there for the Timberwolves.
That is, and we see it time and time again, weekly almost, where you have to play to the whistle. Something that close, man, you gotta get that ball just in case the referee decides to call that a backwards pass. But fortunately for Heritage, that does fall incomplete. That will be the first incompletion of the day, but man, was that close. Big third down here, 6 to go.
Clark checks out. Emmanuel Daniel has checked in at the running back position. That ball is fumbled, picked up off the bounce by Daniel. Daniel continues to move forward. And they are going to spot it beyond the line to gain for a first down. A very fortunate play there for the Timberwolves.
We have seen a couple of these calls go Evergreen's way. Let's see. They do give them the first down officially. Always a little nervous now after those first couple times.
Yeah, a broad stroke of luck there for Emmanuel Daniel as he drops the handoff and the ball bounces really right back up into him.
Emmanuel Daniel with a quiet 8 carries, but 35 yards, pretty effective.
Looks like we've got a false start here on the Timberwolves. This second half, Heritage has been plagued by penalties.
Yeah, and 3 consecutive really awkward plays here for Heritage with the drop near backwards pass that's rolled incomplete. That fumble right there with the false start following. Emmanuel Daniel in the backfield.
Daniel with the carry straight up the middle. He's able to get into the secondary, and that's going to be a gain of 7. Or a gain of more than that. It's going to bring up second and 4.
Another awkward snap there.
Daly trying to find Dakari Bradford. There's a couple flags on the play here, so.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Bradford may have gotten some jersey before that that pass was hit the ground. It's going to be another pass interference here on this drive.
So it is a defensive pass interference penalty. That's going to move the ball to the 14-yard line and into the red zone for the Timberwolves. It's going to bring up first down.
The difference between the first half and the second half here is just 30 yards on this play on this drive alone, given a Heritage on penalties for Evergreen. Really didn't see a lot of that.
Looking to throw this one, finds his target over the middle. This ball may be intercepted. They're going to say it hit the ground. It is going to fall incomplete. E.J. English really thinking that he came up with that one. Daly really trying to thread the needle here over the middle.
Tough to see from that angle. May have hit the ground, but it's going to be an incomplete pass. Heritage now facing 2nd and 10, but great play there from English.
And Heritage is going to be forced. I thought they were going to need to call a timeout, but there is a flag that is thrown. So it is going to be against Heritage. That's going to go ahead and back them up. We're going to stick with 2nd down.
Heritage backing up to the 19-yard line here. Sort of what you expect to coming into just an absolute downpour in the first half. You go into the locker room, you get even more cold because you're not moving around. These guys are a little bit more tense, a little bit more tight now. A lot of penalties are going to happen from that, and that's what we've seen here 7 minutes into the 3rd quarter. Heritage looking to tie the game.
Daly finds his pass, finds KJ Clark with a little screen pass. It's going to be a gain, looks like, of about 6. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 8. 3rd and 9. You know, what I find interesting, and I know that the rain is temporarily stopped here, but they were so successful, and I'm talking about Heritage, they were so successful at running the football. And they've come out with this initial drive of the second half, and they've done pass, pass, pass. Sometimes, I mean, KJ Clark has been running the ball beautifully tonight. Just give the rock to him and let him do what he does.
Yeah, he racked up 17 carries in the first half, just 3 in the 3rd quarter here. They have been able to get him the ball a few times.
Daly able to go ahead and connect with Traylon Martin, or McGraw. He's going to be short of the first down marker. So it brings up another 4th and short situation for the Heritage Timberwolves.
A tale as old as time here, Ryan.
It's 4th and 1. They did fail on 2 other 4th and short opportunities in the first half. We'll see what offensive package the Timberwolves decide to go with out of this timeout.
Great catch there again from McGraw, who's just always looking to make a play and dives for that one, hauls it in. Now up to 3 receptions for 16 yards.
So coming out, we'll see if the Timberwolves either stick with Owen Daly or go with Devon Granville, which is more of a wildcat type quarterback. It looks like they do stick with Daly. KJ Clark in the backfield. And it is handed off to Clark. Clark dives over the middle. There is a flag on the field.
Another close one here for Heritage. Let's see. They are going to give him the first down.
Well, that might not be a flag on the field. That may be, I don't know what that is down there, right around the 3-yard line on the near side. It's not in the screenshot here. I think I've mistaken it for a flag twice already tonight. Maybe it's a big leaf. All right, 1st and goal. Hand it off to Clark. Clark finds his way through the tackles and into the end zone. And officials do signal touchdown, so that's going to be 6 points for the Timberwolves. And that brings them within a point of tying this football game up with 2:38 left in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, great run there from Clark. That's going to be a 4-yard score. Going to get Heritage within 1. Up to 123 yards now.
Omar Ramirez with his extra point attempt. The ball is down and it is tipped. So the extra point was blocked. So the score remains the Plainsmen 14, Heritage 13. Here's a replay of that touchdown run by KJ Clark.
Yeah, great blocking yet again from Heritage. Really needed to get some points on the board after chewing another 7 minutes off the clock. They do get that, but the kick falls short.
Yeah, and that could be the difference maker tonight from what we've seen.
We've seen Heritage win by 1 on a kicking error before.
We have.
Would it be a shock to see it again? And what a beautiful Friday night here, Ryan. All day.
All day long. It looks like the rain's still holding off.
Yeah, we are very fortunate to be in the booth up here. We had
definitely
a couple inches of standing water on the track around the field, but things really starting to dry up here.
Back to receive for the Plainsmen is Chambers and Hodges, and that ball is going to roll into the end zone. So Evergreen's going to start their drive on their own 20. 2:38 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
That's a lot of confidence from the Rayshawn Chambers there for a ball that wasn't necessarily in the end zone, but did work out for Evergreen.
Worked out for Evergreen and worked out for Heritage, too, because that ball very could have easily taken a bounce out of bounds. Barely squeaking inside the pylon. So Jaden Baum is going to go ahead and lead his team back out on the field for their 2nd possession of the half. Baum hands this one off to Hodges. Hodges bounces out to the outside. He makes the corner. He gets his way to the sideline, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 30. So they spot the ball right at the 30-yard line. It's going to be enough for a first down.
Feels like Hodges should have more than 10 carries, but he has carried the ball 10 times for 96 yards. Also getting close to that century mark here. Let's see what Jaden Baum has in store.
This time Hodges up the middle. It's going to be a gain of 3.
Isaiah James with the tackle there. It's great to see that young man back on the field suffering an injury in the 1st quarter, but he is back in action here.
This time Baum looks to throw. He does connect with Darren Schmidt. Schmidt taking a big hit, able to stay on his feet. Looks like that was Dakari Bradford.
Yeah, and if Schmidt needs to go out here, that is a big loss for Evergreen. Here's a replay, a little screen pass.
Schmidt does take a play off, but he was able to go ahead and walk that one out, so hopefully we see him return very soon.
1:40 left in the third quarter here.
Baum hands this one off to Hodges. Hodges stays behind his blockers up the middle. And it's going to be a gain of 4 as the ball's spotted on the 45-yard line.
Joshua Cottle barely got a hand on him, able to haul him down to the ground.
Baum sends his receiver in motion. He decides to go ahead and keep this on the option. And he's going to pick up, looks like 2. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4.
What an excellent call there from Baum, because Heritage was ready for that. But Baum just not acting like a sophomore back there, man. That is something that typically you see younger players, they would force that play, but Baum hauls it in, fakes the lateral, ends up getting a couple yards.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch Jaden Baum play last season, this season, and I'm excited to watch him for another 2 years. This one's handed off to Hodges. Hodges bounces off a defender, gets outside. He does fumble the football, but it is going to roll out of bounds. They're going to spot this one at the, looks like the 40-yard line as the Plainsmen move into Timberwolf territory. Hodges does take a break.
10 seconds left here in the third quarter. Evergreen leading by 1. Evergreen going to get one more play off. Baum looking
fires
deep.
This one deep across the middle, unable to find his receiver, Adrian Volkikov.
Dakari Bradford step in step with Volkikov there.
Cyrus Fawcett Sadri remains in the game at running back for the Plainsmen.
Sole receiver at the top of your screen here.
Baum finds Jason Scott, makes a move, and just heads downhill. He's ultimately brought down at the 20-yard line. That'll be enough for a Plainsman first down.
20-yard completion to Baum's 5th different receiver of the night. That is going to bring us to the end of Q3. Here's a replay. About 9 yards after the catch here.
Yeah, what a move by Scott there. Get some extra yards after the catch.
All right, Evergreen up by 1 quarter left to go here. We haven't talked about it really since the beginning of the game, but a huge game as far as league standings go for both Evergreen and Heritage.
Yeah. Yeah, coming into tonight, both teams were sitting 2-1 in league play. Just behind Kelso.
Well, in top 3 advance, right now both teams tied for 3rd. This would force one of them out.
All right, we are set to start quarter 4. Baum rolling out to his right. He finds Darren Schmidt. That's going to be for a short 3-yard gain. Fawcett Sadri still in the backfield for the Plainsmen. It's handed off to the man wearing number 20, and he makes a break for a first down. He gets brought down at the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Plainsmen.
A 12-yard run there for Fawcett Sadri. First official carry of the night for him.
Hands it off to Sadri once again. Sadri bouncing off the defender. It looks like he fumbles the football. We'll see who ultimately comes up with this. And it is Heritage football. That's a big turnover for the Plainsmen. We'll see a replay here. Sadri really just trying to fight for every single yard he can get, and the ball pops loose. The Heritage defense doing a great job to strip that ball and ensure that they recover.
Yeah, that was Joshua Cottle definitely involved there. I don't have a number 90 on our roster here, but 90 was really the one credited with the strip there.
So Timberwolves take over. Owen Daly starting in his own end zone. Empty backfield.
Heritage missing a player here. Play clock down to 5. We're going to get a Heritage timeout.
So the empty backfield was due to them missing a player. So Heritage burns a timeout in order to get the right personnel onto the field.
.99 yards to go for Heritage.
You know, I almost wonder there if you're Heritage, the ball's on your half-yard line. Do you just take the delay of game penalty?
Maybe
instead of burning a timeout?
Really, you probably should have, right? It's tough to, weigh that in the heat of the moment, I'm sure. But, yeah, I mean, if you're going to get moved back a few inches, here's a good look at a future Plainsman.
Enjoying the game here on Friday night.
Member of the 2042 senior class.
I'm just going to assume you're right and credit you with that was some great math.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So here we go. The Timberwolves have the right personnel out onto the field. 1st and 10 from their own half-yard line. Daly dropping back to pass. He looks to find, and he does find. That's number 11, Braden Oster. Oster is going to take this all the way to the house. That's a 99-yard touchdown pass from Owen Daly to Braden Oster, and the Timberwolves have taken the lead.
Never a doubt there from Heritage too. That was plan A, and there was no plan B. From the get-go, that was the plan. 99 yards for Oster.
Oster doing a great job to create that separation from his defender. And once he got past him, he had no one in front of him to worry about.
Now, what a pass there from the lefty Daly. Now, if you're Heritage,
I think you go for 2.
You have to go for 2. God, what a turn of events, too. Just a second ago, Evergreen was looking to extend their lead, got to the 1-yard line where Heritage eventually recovered a fumble. One play later, Heritage goes for 99 yards for the score in the lead. And that is exactly what Heritage is going to do here. They're going to go for 2.
Emmanuel Daniel lined up in the backfield for the Timberwolves. Daly looking to pass, looking for the corner, Traylon McGraw, and that ball is going to fall incomplete. So that leaves the score, the Timberwolves 19, Evergreen Plainsmen 14. Huge turn of events here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of feel, well, here's a great replay of this 99-yard score.
Yeah, Daly knows exactly where he's going to find Oster. He dropped a ball on a dime, find Oster in stride, and there was no one to pick him up.
Yeah, what a play there from Heritage. Now up by 5. This is something we consistently see from Evergreen too, is sort of giving up late leads. Granted, you know, it's a point, but well, I guess it was 7 points in the third quarter, but we have seen this time and time again from the Plainsmen, sort of giving up those late fourth quarter leads that have come back to bite them.
Yeah, it has. We'll see if they can come back. I mean, offensively, they've been moving the ball well, so game's certainly not over. And this ball is fielded by, looks like Darren Schmidt. I'm sorry, that's not Darren Schmidt. That's Rayshawn Chambers. Rayshawn Chambers with a great return, bringing it all the way out to the 40-yard line.
And we touched on it early, too, when KJ Clark was just running amok back there for Evergreen. But you hand the ball off to him enough times, it's going to set up play action like it did that last play. And that's why Heritage goes the 99-yard pass through the air. Evergreen now is going to get it on the 40.
Malachi Hodges checking back in. Good to see him return.
Hodges with 115 rushing yards.
Baum hands this off to Hodges. Hodges breaks around the corner to the outside, makes a move. He's found his way to the sideline. He's got no one in front of him. He's got one man to beat, and he's going to make it into the end zone for a Plainsman touchdown.
That is 60 yards for the Hodges score. Back and forth, here we go. Evergreen with the 1-point lead, looking to make it 2. For as bogged down as that third quarter has felt, we've seen
it's turned into heavyweight just slugfest.
Yeah, 99-yard score followed by a 60-yard score in just 2 plays.
So that puts Evergreen on top by 1. It looks like they're going to go ahead and go for 2.
Wildcat offense here.
And it looks like that was Terrence Sarion with the conversion. So that puts 2 more points up on the board for the Plainsmen. Brings the total to 22 for the Plainsmen to 19 for the Heritage Timberwolves. We've got 10:27 left in this fourth quarter. And at this point, anything can happen, Kyle.
There's a great replay. Look at that Evergreen blocking, just completely shutting down that left side of the defensive line. And Oster, the one with the 99-yard score, just unable to catch him there. Evergreen 22-19. Hodges now 175 yards on 14 carries. With how hot Clark started, I did not expect Hodges to eclipse him by 50 yards here in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I think that happens when you break out for 60 in a single carry.
That certainly helps, absolutely.
It's been fun to watch these two young men run the ball tonight.
Let's see how Heritage responds. We have seen 14 points in a matter of 14 seconds.
Pretty close to that, yeah. We've got Traylon McGraw ready to receive this kickoff. He's standing right at the 17-yard line. The kicker for the Plainsmen, Jose Suarez. Suarez sends this one off. It's a low-driven ball. And
that was
Adrian Bolkikov. I understand what he was doing. He was trying to play that smart to see if that ball would go out of bounds. Unfortunately, it holds up in favor for the Plainsmen. Bolkikov just slips Heritage is going to take this ball over on their own 12-yard line.
That is just about worst case scenario for Heritage. Ball just a couple feet away from getting a big penalty, getting them out to about the 35. Instead, they're going to end up 20 yards behind that.
So we will see how Owen Daly, KJ Clark starts this drive.
It is Oster against Javion Eng on this left side again on the bottom of your screen.
Daly fires over the middle. There's some miscommunication there between him and McGraw. That's going to fall incomplete.
Yeah, McGraw never turned his head, was not expecting the ball there. Lots of decisive passes from Heritage, though, really just going with option A and not even considering anything else here.
All right, we've got a flag. And it's going to be a false start on the offense.
Going to push him back to about their 7-yard line.
Oh, so it's encroachment on the offense. So one of the linemen were lined up in the neutral zone. So that should back them up 5. So it's going to be 1st and 15, and now the Timberwolves are starting on their own 7-yard line.
And this is a bold strategy from Heritage, just moving as close to the 1-yard line as possible where they had success last drive.
This ball's handed off to Clark. Clark finds his way through the middle with a good gain. That ball's going to be spotted right on the 18-yard line.
Yeah, 9-yard run there for Clark. Going to get him close to that mark.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and 4. I'm sorry, 3rd and 4.
Clark in the backfield again.
Clark takes this one up the middle once more. He's going to gain about 2. It takes him to the 20, but that is going to bring up 4th down. 4th and 2.
Ryan, what do you expect here?
It looks like that they're bringing out the punt team. I mean, this is a Heritage team who's really 1 and 3 on 4th down conversion so far tonight. So the punt team doesn't surprise me here.
Now, would you be shocked at all if we see a fake punt? This seems like the perfect opportunity to go 4th and short. Evergreen definitely expecting a punt.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly.
Down by you need some points. Tough to give that ball over. We are going to get a Heritage timeout. They're going to discuss the plan here. And another crucial element, Heritage down to 1 timeout left, trailing by 3. Still 9 minutes left in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I think this is it's a crucial possession. It's a crucial 4th down to decide what you truly want to do. If you punt this ball away, you're putting a lot of confidence into your defense to get this ball back and get a stop.
That is fair. You know, your defense has carried you to a 6-1 record so far this season. And batting 1 for 3. Baseball, that's great. Football, 4th down, that's tough. It does look like they are going to bring the offense back on here. They see something. They see an angle with Daly and Clark.
Here we go, 4th and 2. Daly with Clark lined up just to his left.
This is something we saw before, too, where Devon Granville took the field, but they are going to leave Daly out here.
Daly trying to get Evergreen to jump offside is unsuccessful with the hard count. So Clark moves over to his right. Daly keeps this one, rolls out. He does his best to go ahead and find Dakari Bradford, and that's going to fall incomplete. And that's going to be a big turnover on downs for the Timberwolves and puts the Plainsmen in a great field position inside the red zone.
Yeah, what a play there from Evergreen. Just the defensive line getting past him, forcing a tough play for Daly and the Timberwolves. Especially as a lefty going back, that's really not going to see a ton of success doing that here. Evergreen with the lead on the 20-yard line now. Great look there at the night sky here Friday night, McKenzie Stadium.
All right, this ball is handed off to, looks like it's Terrence Sarion. Sarion trying to make his way out to the outside, and he's ultimately ran out of bounds. Steps out right at the 17-yard line.
Sarion's first carry of the night. Really limited touches tonight for Sarion.
Baum keeps this one, makes his way through the middle. They're going to give him forward progress to the 16 for a gain of 1. Now they're looking at 3rd and 6. Evergreen does have a strong kicking game in their back pocket, so they're certainly within field goal range.
Yeah, this is definitely within Suarez's territory. 6-point difference is going to kind of leave them in the same spot they would be in, though, up by a score, forcing Heritage to get a touchdown on the next possession.
Baum fires this one out to Sarion out in the flat. Sarion gets brought down. They're going to spot this at the 14, which does bring up 4th down. Should be 4th and 3. 4th and 4, excuse me.
Let's see what Evergreen has up their sleeve here. You have to think this is going to be a field goal angle.
They're going to leave Baum and Hodges out there.
And really, this is exactly where you want to be if you're Heritage. Just trust your defense is taking you this far.
Baum drops back. He sees Darren Schmidt, and he makes the completion. That's a touchdown for the Plainsmen. Schmidt making the catch and staying strong. Bounces off the defender and rolls into the end zone.
13-yard play there for Evergreen, making it a 2-score game now with 7.5 minutes left, and that 4th down call from Heritage really starting to hurt here a little bit more. Gotta love to see that too. Just if you're Evergreen, trusting Baum to make that play on 4th and 4.
Yeah, so Evergreen, it appears they're going to go ahead and go for 2. Abdullah Barrett. Was out there really starting to get under center. The Plainsmen are going to go ahead and take a timeout. That leaves them with 2 remaining. Here we're going to see a replay. Baum finding, just finds Darren Schmidt. Finds his way into the corner of the end zone.
Dakari Bradford unable to get him down on the ground there. Even if he was, though, would have gone for a 1st down, real close to that goal line. Baum threw that ball, too, with defenders in his face, ultimately getting taken down. Does look like they're going to keep Sarion on the field here. Sarion, Schmidt, and E.J. English.
So we're looking at really a wildcat type formation. This could be direct snap to either Sarion, Barrett. It is Sarion. Sarion trying to make his way to the corner. There is a flag on the field. He's going to be pushed out of bounds short of the goal line, but we'll see what the penalty is.
They did give it to him.
Oh.
Let's see what the play is.
It looks like this may be on the Plainsman. It is illegal formation.
All right, Evergreen now bringing on the kicking unit. Suarez coming on the field.
So the extra point attempt will be backed up 5.
I did like the initial play call there that forces Heritage to get 2 touchdowns instead of a touchdown and a field goal, making the game just that much harder for the Timberwolves.
So this will turn out to be a 25-yard extra point attempt for Jose Suarez.
Still well within his wheelhouse, but we've seen an extra point missed already tonight.
Ball is down, and the kick is good, so that brings the total up to 29, and it is now a 10-point game.
Heritage has their work cut out for them after not giving up more than 14 points in the first 6 games with a 6-0 record. Heritage now giving up at least 28 over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and this is where Heritage has stalled historically throughout the season. I mean, we go back to the stat that we had at the beginning of the game. They haven't scored more than 21 in the last 4 or 5 games when they're currently sitting at 19. They've got to go out and get at least 10 here to tie this up with 7 minutes. They've got 1 timeout remaining. They burned that one that ultimately ended up resulting in a touchdown coming out of the timeout. So I don't want to say that it's wasted, but
yeah, tough look for Heritage.
Yep.
Certainly. I mean, this is going to be, and again, just how important this game is. They really, really need to get some points on, which is going to make it the highest they've scored all year. 7.5 minutes left in the game. Evergreen up by 10.
And Traylon McGraw ready to receive, standing on the 10-yard line.
Evergreen with a win last week too against Prairie, looking to keep their win streak intact and extending the Heritage loss streak.
This ball's kicked on the ground. It is fielded by, looks like, was it Jonas Ferguson? No, it was Jacob Karpiuk. It is fielded, brought out to the 40-yard line. So Heritage is going to take over, start their drive from their own 40.
All right, let's see if they continue to give the ball to KJ Clark. Good look at the Evergreen band there that has been consistently going throughout the game.
Yeah, we'll see if they go back to KJ Clark. I mean, they're not in panic territory, but they don't have a lot of time because they need to get through 2 possessions. They do hand it off to Clark. Clark makes his way out to the 44. That's going to bring up 2nd and 6. Heritage is going to have to be mindful and careful as they manage this clock.
Yeah, they don't have 10 minutes to burn here. They need 2 scores in 7 minutes. Two receivers top of your screen.
This one's handed off to Clark again. Clark tries to cut inside. He's going to pick up 3. That brings up 3rd and 3. Daly hands it off to Clark once more. Evergreen getting a big stop. Clark picks up a yard. That brings up 4th and 2. And Heritage is in a spot where they have to go for it here on 4th down.
You have to expect him to go right back to Clark here. And really, this has been the Clark and Hodges show, which sounds like a law firm, right?
It does. And, Clark was able to go ahead and break that tackle. I thought for sure he was going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. He was able to scramble out of it and get enough for a first down, extending this drive for the Timberwolves. Timberwolves move into Evergreen territory with the ball on the 49-yard line.
Timberwolves needed that there. That is going to get Clark up to 147 yards on the ground here now on 28 carries.
Daly rolls out to his left. He decides to keep it. He's going to go ahead and run out of bounds. And they're going to spot that ball right on the 47-yard line.
That is going to stop and preserve a little bit of clock there. So pretty wise decision from quarterback Daly there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're Heritage, you have to. I mean, first things first, you got to get a score, right? And then with as much time remaining, there's really no other option but an onside kick that could come out of that. But this one's handed off to Clark. Clark fights his way up through the middle. And he's just chewing away down the field. He's going to pick up another 3.
Out to the 44. Heritage really needs a big play here and fast. Not leaving a ton of meat on the bone with the clock here.
KJ Clark checks out. Emmanuel Daniel checks in. This one's handed off to Daniel. Daniel finds his hole. He tries to break away through the outside. He's going to get out of bounds. It's going to be enough for the first down and move the chains. Most importantly at this point, in my opinion, it stops the clock.
Absolutely. Yeah, 1 timeout remaining. Every second is pretty crucial here for Heritage with just a minimal margin for error. Out to the 37, 7-yard gain there for Daniel. Well over 200 yards as a team on the ground for Heritage.
Keep your eye on Bradford and Karpiuk up on the upper part of your screen. Daly does fire across the middle. It is intercepted and picked off by Terrence Sarion, and that's going to be a turnover for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, and all those rushing attempts for Heritage really was going to set up the play, or the pass play one way or another, but Oster just never turned his head, never saw the ball.
Yeah. Well, that ball was certainly overthrown as well. And Sarion had all the room in the world to go ahead and make that interception.
Yeah, a couple of back-breaking turnovers for Heritage tonight. That big interception with just 4:44 left to go in the game. Trailing by 10, but a fumble earlier and a couple 4th down missed conversions by inches.
Hodges makes his way out to the outside for a big gain of about 16. That moves the chains and it remains 1st and 10 for the Plainsmen. 4:36 remaining and the clock is ticking here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, and Heritage just helpless too, just has to watch those seconds tick away.
Hodges this time up the middle. He finds some room, and he decides to go ahead and just take a knee at the 38-yard line.
And you can tell, too, just a groan in the crowd is all of the Hodges fantasy owners.
I think Hodges, I mean, he owns his mistake there. I think he was just trying to play smart and get to a point where they can run the clock out to secure this win. Ultimately, an additional 6 points would have been more beneficial for the Plainsmen there. It's a little mental error.
Yeah, and that's a little too smart.
a little too smart. He had no one in front of him. And they're going to hand the ball off to Hodges once again. He gets tripped up. He's able to gain a yard, and that's going to bring up 2nd and 9.
3:30 left to go here. Hodges 216 yards rushing on 17 carries. Just been lifting Evergreen here over the last 3 quarters. 2 rushing scores as well for that young man.
Give the ball back to Hodges. Hodges tries to break through over on the left-hand side. He's going to be brought down. We'll see. Looks like that it's going to be short of the line to gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down. So it's going to be 3rd and less than a yard. 2:30 left. This time, Baum. I think that ball, they're going to call that ball. There hasn't been a ruling yet.
Referees are going to get together. Traylon McGraw arguing his case. What a play for McGraw. If that is, they do call that an interception. That is going to fall incomplete, and the Heritage coach is irate on the sideline over here. Let's get a replay.
Yeah, the replay. Baum trying to find Jason Scott. Scott just bobbles it, and that ball did hit the ground. The officials got that call correct.
That is a great call, and
so that's going to bring up 4th and short.
Pretty impressive athleticism from McGraw there to haul that in between his knees, just barely touching the ground.
Yeah.
McGraw really wants that call, you can tell, too. Just, again, fired up in the huddle over there. Still pleading his case. You can see head coach Kevin Peterson a little upset with that one as well. Here's a replay of the interception from earlier.
Yeah, just no one anywhere near that ball. Terrence Sarion coming up with the interception. Here we see that last play once again.
Yeah, and you can just see that one.
It hits the ground, bounces up in between his knees. Great effort by the young man, Traylon McGraw, but unable to come up with it. 4th and short. Plainsmen are going to go ahead and go for it. They hand this ball off to Hodges. Hodges gets the 1st down. He makes his way out the outside into the 20-yard line. And that's going to be enough for a new set of downs for the Plainsmen. All right. 2:05 left remaining, and the clock is continuing to run.
Evergreen needs a 1st down to ice the game.
Baum is going to use every second of this play clock. And that ball is fumbled. It's still under cover. It looks like Heritage did recover this ball. So Heritage recovered on the 20-yard line. 137 remaining. They are still down by 2 scores. It's not completely over. But the ball's just fumbled by Baum, and
great heads-up play there from Heritage.
Yeah, it looks like it was recovered by Ahmed Keita.
Heritage now I mean, there's still time on the clock.
You fire a long bomb like you did with that 99-yarder, and I mean, you go for an I mean, it's not over. We've seen crazier things happen.
You have Oster in motion here. Bottom of your screen, empty.
And that ball's fumbled. It's picked up by KJ Clark. Clark's able to go ahead and get one out of the play. Clock continues to run with 1:20.
And that is not what you needed to kick off this drive for Heritage. Like you mentioned, Ryan, we're going to need a big pass. You have Oster at the bottom of your screen. Top of your screen is McGraw.
Daly rolls out, looking downfield. He's just going to run out of bounds. It's going to stop the clock, give him another opportunity. 58 seconds left.
Great coverage there from Evergreen. Just nobody not willing to give them any options on the long ball there.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 12. The Timberwolves needing definitely more than a first down here. Daly fires this one over the middle.
No flags on the play.
That's going to be called incomplete.
Fourth down for Heritage coming up. Once again, Oster, bottom of your screen. Looks like McGraw at the top.
Daly fires this one over the middle. It's going to fall incomplete, and that's going to be another turnover of downs. And that is essentially game here, as all the Plainsmen have to do is kneel this one out.
Yeah, Evergreen going to come away with the 29-19 victory here Friday night. That will extend their league record to 3-1. That brings Heritage back to 500 at 2-2.
Evergreen's going to go ahead and line up in victory formation. They're just going to go ahead and take a knee. They do have to run one more play.
Quick recap of some stats for you for Evergreen. Malachi Hodges, 229 yards rushing on 19 carries, including a 60-yard score and a 17-yard score. We had quarterback Jaden Baum completing 13 of his 17 attempts, also for 2 passes. Leading the receivers is 22 Hudson Nellis with 4 catches, 52 yards. Number 9, Darren Schmidt with a 29-yard score. On the Heritage side of things, 30 carries for KJ Clark, going for 151 yards.
There was certainly some impressive individual performances tonight. The clocks do go ahead and strike 0. That's going to wrap it up here for this first game. The Plainsmen 29, Heritage 19. Kyle, any final thoughts?
That was a doozy. It's going to be Heritage really needs a win in their last couple games here in league play, so it's going to make the end of the season very interesting.
It certainly will. Well, we're going to sign off for this first game. Come back. We're going to start here in about 20-25 minutes as these teams go ahead and clear the field, and Camas and Union both get their mandatory 20-minute warm-up time. So come on back. For Ryan Vassbinder, Kyle Bleake, we'll see you in a few.